The following program is a production of Naleo TV.
Aloha. Welcome to my studio. On today's episode, what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on doing the background of this painting. I actually ran into somebody that's watching my show, and they were telling me that I don't show much of the way I do the background. So I'm going to concentrate on doing the background today, and then on the next show, what we're going to do is we're going to do a bird of paradise on this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the background with the leaves right now, and we're going to concentrate mostly with the greens and the highlights on the background. So if you watch me closely, you'll see that this will be a lot of fun. We're going to start off with the dark green here. And let's go right in here. Remember, I'm always using my my reference over here. And I'm just using my my filbert brush. Sometimes I start dark, sometimes I start light. It really all depends on what I'm doing. But today I feel like starting with the dark here. Then I'm going to mix in just a little bit of a lighter green. So I can get these blends really nice. This canvas is also what they call the gallery. So if you look at that, there's no staples here. The staples are in the back. So you can actually hang this on the wall without a frame. Now we're going to mix the colors. I want to lighten it up a little bit, but I don't want it too light. There we go. Get some nice shapes here. Now see how I'm blending this? Just blending it in. And again, I'm using that scrubbing technique. What that does is that helps fill the canvas, because I am using regular canvas today. I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you can see those little white spots where the canvas is showing through. So I'm trying to fill all that because I don't want those little pukas in there. Add a little bit of yellow. Get my little highlight up there. I'll probably go back over that and brighten that up a little bit later, but this in here like this. Now what this does, by putting this light green over here, it kind of shows a transparency on the leaf. If you look at leaves really close, you can't see through them, but they are translucent, so you can see the light through them slightly. Yeah, I like that. That looks cool. Yeah. So now we're gonna see, yeah, that's just a little bit lighter. I'm going to call this the stem. I don't know what it's called. So again, I don't study plants. I just study what they look like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of black, mix it with a little bit of my Floetrol there, and we're going to bring this in just to give this a little depth. And then bring the dark one in. Some of this, what I want it to do is to make it look like it's out of focus. So when you look at a good photograph, a professionally photographed picture, they do what they call depth of field, and you really can't see the details in the leaves and stuff in the background. And then I'm going to go down here with some black. Kind of bring that up. And then just to give it a little bit of shape. Then I'm going to take my blender brush, blend that so that it looks like it's out of focus. All right, so now let's do the same thing. It's weird, you know, I don't talk a lot while I'm doing the background because I'm concentrating on the background, and then when I start painting, I don't have to concentrate anymore. And a little bit of black over in this corner, blend this out like this, and give me my light green. See how this this leaf here is bright right there? I want this to go under that, so I'm going to take this dark green and I'm going to go right up to that line right there, and I'm going to blend that in there. And then what I'm going to do to give it even a little bit more depth, I'm going to take just a touch of black. And give me my shadow of that leaf on top of that. Look at that. Make sure you go over your corners, make sure that that's nice. And when I'm done with this, I'll probably paint the sides of it so that if it's hanging on the wall without a frame, it looks really cool. Now these are like the ribs or whatever they call them on the leaf. how that paint's wet like that, and I can go right up and grab it and pull it right down into the leaf so that it looks natural. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so now let's add a little black to that, and if you notice, leaves are not necessarily perfect. They get pushed around with the wind and they get damaged by other leaves and stuff and birds, what have you. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so let's go right in here, because this is where my flower is going to be sitting. So I want to give myself some darkness back here. Don't be afraid to play with the colors. You can go right over the top of the black to darken it. You can put a lighter color over the top of it to lighten it. And if you don't like it, paint over it. So now what I'm going to do, because I've got this leaf coming across the top up here, I'm going to show the shadowing area behind it by blending it down here. This does not have to be perfect, because once I paint the leaves over the top of it, I'll clean it all up. Alright, so let's take Alright, now we're going to rinse the brush out because we've got all that dark paint on there. Alright, so we're going to take a little bit of the lighter green and let's get us a stem. And another one right here. And then we're going to grab that dark. Now see how haphazard I threw that in there? It's not really a shape yet. But when I bring this in here like this, it starts to get that shape of that leaf there. I'm turning the brush flat and I'm just going to drag that down there like that. And now let's clean that up by putting some black in there. bright green and put those spines right there. Get it. Remember, don't be afraid to turn your canvas so that you can get to what it is you need to do. Unfortunately, when I paint cars and stuff like that, I can't just flip the car around and make it easier for me. I do have to distort myself and figure out how to get the best position and do what I need to do. But with this, it's up to me. On this one, you can see that I'm actually doing a reverse technique where I'm laying the dark down and bringing the, I don't know what they're called. I'm going to call them spines, but then bringing the spines out like that. Let's see, let's smooth this out a little bit. You notice how I wipe my brush off when I drag that stuff to get the excess paint off of there too. As I get into that corner right there, you can see that I'm lifting the brush up a little bit so that it becomes more of a wedge, so that I can get right tight into that. And let's get some black. When doing this kind of stuff, and you add, it's called glazing when you add the black over the top of this. But as long as you have some wet paint in there, you can blend this out so that it appears more of a dark green than a black. wipe that off a little bit. What I want to do is I want to get rid of those brush marks right there in the tip there. Now, here, this is a fun trick. I'm just going to take some white and lighten this up here. And as I pull those brush strokes in there like that, you can see that it looks like the sun shining through there. Ever so slightly. I'm going to do that down here too. Cool. Alright, so I've got this one, and it's not a full leaf, it's almost like a stem all by itself that hasn't fully developed. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have that coming through the middle right there. So I'm just going to paint right through that, and then I'll paint that over the top of this, what I'm doing here. This all the way over. This time I'm going to start with the black, because this leaf here is actually folded, so you see both sides of the leaf, the inside, which is this right here, and this is the outside over here. Again, see, I'm turning the brush sideways to use it as a wedge to outline it almost and get that right up to that line there. And then we're going to create those. Add a little bit of yellow. Now we're going to come in here with the black. And I know you've heard me use Payne's Gray a lot before, so this time I'm actually using black. And I haven't wiped my brush clean, so there's still some green in there, so when I do that, it's going to turn green. And then alright, let's wash the brush out. And we are going to grab the two different greens here. detail. This is just natural looking leaves that are not focused. See how that goes right over the top of that leaf right there? You can see it right there in the foreground. Alright, so now So now, see, I don't like the way that looks right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my light green and I'm going to start this leaf down here and I'll pull that right up over the top of that. That way it looks like that leaf is folding over the top of that one. Alright, so let's grab, so I'm going to show you how I paint the sides. I just take my sponge, normal sponge, and I'm just going to take the greens and I'm going to dab them on there like that, and then I'm just going to run over this real quick like this. This paint is pretty thick, so. I like using the sponge because it literally fills those crevices right there on the canvas really quick and easy. Again, this is just so that if you hang it without a frame, it looks finished. Come back next month and I'll show you how I paint the bird of paradise on there. Hope you join me. Hooey ho!
The preceding program was a production of Naleo TV.